Ghana football would always be at the top of the African continent. We are one of the best football nations on the African continent. We are not stopping. We will continue to do our best to ensure that this, what we have, that is Ghana football, would be something that we will preserve, and it will be like a treasure for us. My name is Mutala Yakubu. We are in the studios of Star Times at the Channel 247, and we are here for the penultimate round of the Ghana Premier League. That is match day 33. After this round, we are left with one final round to go. So let's see what happens today. And today we are going to be in the northern part of Ghana, where there is a big game between Real Tamale United and Asante Kotoko. Any result apart from a win for RTU today could spell doom for them, because they are currently bottom of the Ghana Premier League table. For Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they are all but safe, but will need a positive result to cement that status today. And I'm sure this game is going to be a cagey encounter. That is will be 33, because there's also Accra Lions against Dreams FC. Real Tamale United against Kotoko is what we're going to show you on the screens today. And tomorrow, lots of the games will be played, because there's Ediana FC against Nswateman. There's Bebieni Gold Stars against Mediema. Bofoakwa Tano would also be facing Brekum Chelsea, with the Heart of Lions coming up against Elegant Cities. Karela United will face Samatex. Then there's Nations FC against Bichim United. Heart of Folk would also come up against Great Olympics. These are the games coming up in match day 33 of the Ghana Premier League. But our focus will be at the National Stadium in Lergo, where Real Tamale United will be facing Asante Kotoko. I'm not in the studios alone. I've been joined by two of my colleagues, Nanedu and of course Josiah Okokwe. If we can have the Premier League table and see how things are shaping up there, and the teams that are in danger, would be a lot good for us to actually see what is happening on the Premier League table. For Real Tamale United, we know they are rock bottom of the Premier League table, and for Real Tamale United, for Asante Kotoko, they are somewhere around 10th on the league table, so they would also want to solidify their position on the league table before the final games. But this is how the table looks like after 32 matches in the Ghana Premier League. It is Samatex who are leading the pack with 58 points. Adriana are second with 49 points. Mediema, they are third with 49 points. The Nations FC currently sit fourth with 48 points. Accra Lions are fifth with 48 points. And Bichim United and Brekum Chelsea both have 47 points. Lie sixth and seventh on the table. Nswateman are eighth with 46 points. Legon Cities, they occupy the ninth position with 43 points as well. Let's see the other half of the table. The other half of the table has Asante Kotoko sitting 10th with 43 points. Bebieni Gold Stars are 11th with 43 points. Dreams FC, they are 12th with 42 points. Heart of Folk currently find themselves at 13th with 41 points. Heart of Lions are 14th with 41 points. Great Olympics, they lie precariously above the relegation zone on 15th with 40 points. Teams on the Ghana Premier League table are Karela United, who are 16th with 40 points. Bofoakwa Tano, they are 17th with 33 points. They have been relegated. Real Tamale United are 18th with 31 points. So that is how the table looks like. So for Real Tamale United to have any glimmer of hope of surviving in the Ghana Premier League, they must win this game against Asante Kotoko. So that is how the table looks like, and my colleagues are here to add their voice to what we've seen so far. Josiah, 32 matches gone. Today is the penultimate round, KG encounter between RTU and Kotoko. But let's talk about the relegation battle. Bofoakwa Tano officially relegated. Now it is left for two teams. Should RTU lose or they, it will spell doom for them.
Mutala, good afternoon. And just like you rightly said, I think the league, is done and dusted. The winners have already been confirmed. That Samatex, in just their second season in the top flight, they have managed to be crowned champions. That was due to their hard work and also commitment, and we just need to congratulate Samatex for getting it done, even with 2 games to spare. Last season, Mediama had to win it on the final day, where they beat Tamale City by 3-0 to be crowned champions. This time round, it's a team that you would say are in their sophomore year in the top flight, and already they've managed to find their way around, to get things done the way it should be, and already they have been crowned champions. And what a way to do it for Samatex. But talking about the relegation, dogfight, I believe that's where all the attention is going to be, with just 2 games left to go, with a couple of outstanding games, and that's between Dreams FC and Real Tamale United themselves. Real Tamale United would have to win this one if they stand any chance at all of to 34, and if they are able to win that outstanding game they have against Dreams FC, then that would also push them a bit further. But should any of these teams, Karela, Great Olympics, Heart of Lions, gain 1 more point, that means RTU will officially be relegated, and that's how bad it looks for them, considering the fact that the likes of Great Olympics will be playing against Heart of Lions will be at home over the weekend. Karela United would also be playing tomorrow against already elected champions, that's Samatex FC. Yeah. So it's so difficult for RTU at this point. Yes, they have to win. Yes, they have to keep on winning and hope that the other teams on top of them will keep on losing. But if any team should gain a point, would mean they just go down, and that's how bad I feel for this RTU team. Last season they were very close to being relegated, but I think a couple of games towards the tail end of the season just changed their fortunes around. It changed everything for them, and I was thinking that they would have just used that as a precursor, at least to learn some. They would have taken a cue from what happened coming into this season. This season they started brightly with that famous 1-0 win over Accra Folk on match goal for them, and since then it's not really been bright for them. It's the away from that has really hampered their season, because you look at the away table and actually you have only managed 1 win in 15 away games. 1 win, and that's 3 points. Whilst other teams have been able to manage more than that. They've only managed 3 points out of close 52 points, and that's just not good enough. If you want to maintain your status in the Ghana Premier League, Mutala, you should be winning at home, and RTU has failed to do that. Just look at the last 5 games. They won at home against Samatex. They won at home against
they are beginning to pick up some good points, but it looks like it's too little, too late for them.
It's just too late, because if you really want to win, and that reminds you of what happened to Kotoko Royals last season, where at some point they would look so bad, and towards the end of last season they were able to change things around when they started playing at the Wood Theatre of Dreams, which felt more like home for them. For RTU, they've only had to alternate between the Tamale Sports Stadium and then also Nasheriga, where they are playing currently. And Mutala, I just believe that at this point it just looks done for them. It looks like they are going to play in the Division 1 come next season, and that is not good for football in the northern part of the country.
And is it too little, too late for RTU? But first of all, let's talk about Bofoakwa Tano. After 16 years of fighting to be in the Ghana Premier League, they could not survive. They started the season brilliantly. Getting some good results against the likes of Heart of Folk, but at the tail end or somewhere in the middle, when they were banned from using the Sunyani Coronation Park, that is where they started losing steam as far as the survival race is concerned.
A very painful situation for a team like Bofoakwa Tano. Right from their preparation towards the Premier League, you can see that Bofoakwa Tano were doing everything possible to have a good season in 2023-2024 season. So after the playoff against Techimai City, they made their way to enter into the Premier League with high hopes. After the first 4 or 5 games of the Ghana Premier League, we were talking about Bofoakwa Tano leading the Ghana Premier League, because at that time they had a home win against RTU, and of course they had a home win against no other team than Heart of Folk. Match day 4, day 5, Bofoakwa Tano were on top of the Ghana Premier League. And the name everybody was mentioning in the Ghana Premier League was Saka Dada, because he was able to score the big teams in the Ghana Premier League. And they have a very good goalkeeper in the boost of Bofoakwa Tano. But all of a sudden, after some few home game ban in the Ghana Premier League, Bofoakwa didn't come back to the good starting point that they have in the Ghana Premier League. So I'm sure these are one of the learning curves in a Premier League season. It's very painful, like, to see some of these traditional teams going back to Division 1, because I'm one person that I believe to have a successful, season and a good competition, sometimes you need some of these traditional teams to shape up and make sure some of these fans enter into their various venues to watch games. So when Bofu is playing at the Sunyani Coronation Park, even if it's against OutU or some of these smaller teams, the stadium is full to capacity. I remember one of their games. The game was played on Friday, but still, the stadium was full to capacity. So it tells you, coming back into the Premier League for a very long time, the people of Sunyani and the Bonga Afro region were happy to see Bofoakwa coming back into the Ghana Premier League. But unfortunately, the squad was not good enough to compete to the end of the season. As it stands now, mathematically, they are the official team relegated from the Ghana Premier League. It's unfortunate, but that is what has happened in the Ghana Premier League.
What does it mean for the people of Sudan, Josiah? After 16 years of being in Division 1, back and forth, I always tell people that the most difficult league in Ghana, with regards to our professional leagues we have here, is the Division 1. And going back will be tough for them.
Especially that zone.
Yeah, that zone. That is zone 1. Zone 3, sorry.
Zone 1. That's zone 1.
No, it's zone 1B. I think that is zone 1B. Okay, yeah. It's zone 1B. Yeah.
And Mutala, I think it's just not good news for the natives of Bofoakwa.
And that is their game against House of Folk.
That was the game where Saka Dauda scored the only goal, and they were able to. And just look at the crowd over there. And this was what it meant for the people of Bofoakwa to have Premier League football back again. These are numbers they normally get even in Division 1 games when they were in Division 1, because the fans wanted the team back in the top flight. They miss playing against the big giants, the likes of Kotoko, the likes of Hearts of Oak, and all that. And you even cast your mind back and just take a look at how they managed to get their dressing rooms ready before the season started, because officially, despite the fact that their stadium had been passed, by the club licensing board, that they can't or they could still go ahead and play their games. They needed to put certain things in place, and those things had to be the dressing room. And it was more like a communal labor for the natives of Bofoakwa coming together to put up such, a beautiful dressing room for this team. Then in less than a year, it looks like your fate has been sealed and you have to go back and get all that job done again.
What do you think they got it wrong? Because they started the season on a very good note. I remember that game against Hearts of Folk at the Accra Sports Stadium.
I think the change of coach, because they had issue with the technical team. I remember at that time it was Frimpong Manson who was their head coach, and my own Safo Castro was their assistant coach. So they had issue with the technical team. In fact, there were rumors that there was misunderstanding between the head coach Frimpong Manson and of course the assistant coach Safo Castro. So it got to a time some of the management members were not happy about things that is going on within the team. So for us to go for the end sacrifice of meaning, Safo Castro, Frimpong Manson stay aside. Let's look for a new coach. Coach Eduafo coming. I think the result under Eduafo, especially in the first 5-6 games, was not good enough for them. Until the last few games, who said some of their games is quite okay. So the change of coach is one thing that really affected it, because after the first 4 or 5 games, Frimpong Manson was arguably the best coach we saw in the Ghana Premier League. So the change of coach was one of the major problems. Then number 2 was change of venue, because of the issue that happened between them and the game that they played at.
So we are not going to see these balloons in the Premier League again. I remember these were the early days when Bofoakwa qualified back into the Premier League. Professor Jude Champo, these days he resides in the US. He spoke with a lot of fans from the Tsunami Coronation Park. They promised to take the Premier League by storm, but that did not go as planned, as Bofoakwa is going back to Division 1. It will be tough for them, especially trying to qualify. But for 16 years, 16 years when they qualify, going back, I'm sure because of the experience they picked this year.
It boils down to financial resource and staffs. So I don't know if the current chairman of the team will continue to support this team in Division 1. They need to look for somebody who has interest in football, you know, who got the passion and financially is very strong to make sure he will support this team. If that is something is go by, I think they've gotten the experience playing in Division 1 much more than the rest of the teams in that zone. So, Bofoakwa can go and come back. It depends on Nipa and Sada team no so or the Sika team to do well in the Division 1. So I'm sure they can go and prepare themselves and come back. Maybe, who knows, next season we may see them, even though in that zone there are still strong teams. In the course of the week, they had a playoff.
Yeah.
Remember the Techiman team versus the Wenchi team.
Apostles and Heroes. Yeah.
The Techiman Heroes. So Young Apostle from Wenchi has qualified because it tells you they also prepared themselves very well to qualify from that particular zone to the Premier League. So, but for Division 1, no matter prepare, ready to invest a lot in the team. I will not be surprised next season they may come back into the Ghana Premier. They have a strong team. It depends on players who will leave. And understand Asante Kotoko are looking for 2 players in the Bofoakwa team. Saka Dauda and of course their goalkeeper. I'm sure some of the teams will also go into the Befut team, take 1 or 2 players. If they maintain some of the key players and bring in quality players in Division 1, who knows? Befut can come back into the Premier League. Can
they, Josiah, with what you've seen from them, what should they do to ensure that they do not stay down there for a long time?
Well, I believe they just have to do whatever they did in the last 16 years before they gained qualification again. But this time, I don't think it needs to take them 16 years. They have a shorter time for them to, you know, go back and put all the pieces back, you know, together for them to get back, because I just don't know how it's going to feel like when the 2024-25 Premier League season starts and there's no Premier League football at the Sunyani Coronation Park. It just wouldn't look so good for them. They did a lot of things right, but I just believe, you know, it all started to fall apart when they had those issues in the game against Nswacheman, where, you know, a couple of including the head coach was attacked, and then all of a sudden, you know, the ban came in, and it wasn't just good enough because their head coach started so well with them. That's Frimpong Manson. And just look at the job he's doing with BBN Gold Stars now. BBN Gold Stars also found themselves in the same situation when the season started in the first 15 games until he left, you know, just jump ships. And you know, replaced Michael Osei at BBN Gold Stars, and already he's the man leading BBN Gold Stars on. And at this point, when we are talking about the relegation dogfight and battle, BBN Gold Stars are not even part of it. So I just believe the man who got them to, you know, believe again. They started so well, and we all thought that was how it was going to be. But unfortunately for them, they just couldn't keep their calm and composure, and all this had to happen. But we are still hoping that Tano Bofoakwa will come back again, because we know games between Tano Bofoakwa and Hearts of Oak, Tano Bofoakwa and Kumasi. These are
clubs, so they always have a large following.
Games that we always
now talking about BBN Gold Stars, let me use this platform to say a very good afternoon to our own friend GH Magzi, Set G, also GH Magzi. He's a digital content creator for beautiful graphics you see on the BBN Gold Star social media pages are done by GH Magzi. Such a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Or a very, very hard-working guy. I'm sure I could see do is treating him right.
Yes, name.
So now let's turn our attention to the game of the day. It is Real Tamale United who are coming up against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. It is a must-win game for RTU if they are to survive in the league there. Abende Gotete plays for BBN Gold Stars. He was one-time Ghana Premier League goal kid champion. Last season, he won the Golden Boot. But this time, he's on the fringes of BBN Gold Stars. He doesn't play much for them. But RTU against Asante Kotoko. Even though we are all saying it is a must-win game for RTU, Kotoko also need to avoid defeat. Well, mathematically they could still be relegated, but they look like a point in this game will do them just a lot of good. Josiah.
Yeah, it's not totally safe and over for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Any team, you know, with around 43 points could still mathematically be relegated, and that's how tight it is down there. They really turned the corner, you know, a couple of games back, but those two defeats to Brecum Chelsea away and at home to Great Olympics, and just the last game week meant that Kotoko were not able, to cement their place in the league for next season. That's why they will have to go to the National Riga Sports Complex.
I'll come back to you, but these are the last 5 matches that the Porcupine Warriors have played. They have drawn won twice and lost twice as well. They drew 1-1 with Mediama before the Legon Cities by 2-0, and Brecum Chelsea inflicted them with a defeat. They ended 2-1 in favor of Brecum Chelsea. Kotoko beat Hartlepool by 2-0. Stevie Desimukwala scoring twice for the Porcupine Warriors to get that win, and their last game was at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, where Great Olympics and Oko Gripman ensured that they beat them by 1-0. So today it is a big match for Asante Kotoko with regards to the relegation dogfight at the bottom. They are not completely out of the woods.
Mutala, the good thing coming from Asante, last weekend we spoke to Prosper Netogum, the head coach of Asante Kotoko. Okachira and said their captain and their goalkeeper Danlad Ibrahim was not psychologically and physically fit for the game in Kumasi against Great Olympics. The good news is that the captain of the side, Danlad Ibrahim, is back into the team and is the goalkeeper for today's game. And the other good thing is Emmanuel Koti, who was 7 for a suspension in that game against Great Olympics, is back into the team. Kalu Atara is starting ahead of Steve Desi Mukwala, because Mukwala has joined his national team. Uganda, they won 1-0 yesterday. 5 minutes for Uganda. So good.
Okay, so that is the good news coming. The camp
Danlad Ibrahim was full of it.
Danlad has recovered. Last week, coach Prosper Natogum talked about the fact that he said he was not mentally and psychologically ready for the Olympic Games. I'm sure the psychologist of the team has worked on him, and he's ready for the game today. Will that play a role in what happens?
Yeah, I think it's good news for Kotoko. And if you're a Kotoko fan, monitoring, then I believe you would also feel very confident going into the game, because Frederick Asari had to leave the Black Stars camp, after he was told that the goalkeeper and the captain of the side, that's Danlad Ibrahim, wasn't mentally okay and stable for the game, and that meant that you could see what that did to him, being, in the camp preparing for the game against Mali, then having to travel, on an impromptu basis all the way back to Kumasi and man the post in their game in that defeat against Great Olympics. So today to have Danlad back is quite a good news for them. They really need that leadership at this point of the season, going into every single game. But you just don't need players who can play. You need leaders. You need players with character to be able to guide these young ones, to victory. And that's how important it is for these young lads. And I believe, if you're talking about one of the best players for Kumasi Asante Kotoko in the last 2-3 seasons, then you can't go without talking about Danlad Ibrahim. He's gone through the ranks of the various national teams, down the 17-20. He's also had stints with the national team. So if you talk about a player with so much experience on the local scene, then Danlad is one of them. And I just believe that the head coach should also be given some credit, because he handled that issue maturely, and very, very professionally. He deserves some credit with how he approached it, because to drive all the way to Danlad's house to try and have, a tete-a-tete with him and ask him what he's going through, I think that's how, coaches should act sometimes. That was a role of a father. He played all over there, and I believe he deserves so much credit.
So this is the dressing room of the Real Tamale team. Their jerseys there neatly arranged, and they are ready for this big clash. It is a must win for Real Tamale United. They recently got support from the former president of the land in terms of finance, but it seems that this did not come on time for RTU to really reduce the financial burden on them. We've spoken to the PRO several times, and he said the main issue for this RTU team has to be financial constraints. There's
a support from the former president and still the flag bearer for NDC, John Dramani Mahama. Report coming in like he was able to support them with around 500,000 Ghana cedi to make sure they finish hard in the Ghana Premier League. So I think personally it may be too late for RTU to survive in the Ghana Premier League. Per the point, but at 31 points, they have 3 games to go, and the team in that 41 points, that gap is between House of Folk and staff. So I'm sure it will be difficult for for RTU to survive. Personally, I think RTU has joined Bofoakwa Tano to Division 1. So maybe the money could be used to bolster the squad, going to the Division 1 and prepare them coming back into the Ghana Premier League. I'm sure RTU will be gotten a lot of experience, a lot of political powers in Ghana who can support them in Division 1 to come back into the Ghana Premier League. So let's see what happens. Maybe things may work for them. But the good thing is, I'm sure some of these things will work for them in Division 1, supporting them financially to come back into the Ghana Premier League next season.
So that was the dressing room of RTU just gone by. But this is the dressing room of the Porcupine Warriors, Kumasi, Asante Kotoko. They also lost their last game against Great Olympics, so they would need to come up with the goods today at the National Stadium to be able to completely cement their status in the league. Any results apart from a defeat would mean Asante Kotoko safe, sound, home and dry, as they would still be in the Ghana Premier League. Mathematically, they can still be relegated, but as it stands, it looks like that is not likely to happen. Kalu Watara, I've been told, will be starting today's game in the absence of Stevie Desimukwala, who have teamed up with the Ugandan camp as he looks to help them to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. The likes of Nuruddin will be in action today. Now, coming into this game, Jose, I'm sure Prosper Nati Ogum knows what is at stake. Yes, we could say that it is not likely for Asante Kotoko to go down, but mathematically it's still possible, and they will leave no stone unturned today.
Not at all, especially looking at the fact that they are not entirely safe. They would really want to go into this one with every ounce of energy they have in them. They've really blown hot and cold this season. They've not been so consistent. Injuries have also plagued the team over the course of the season, and each and every game they go into, it's Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Expectations are always high. The fans expect them to win, regardless where they play, and this is one of the games that they really have to go in and prove their mettle. For RTU, they would want to bow out on a very, very high note. They would really want to show something. They would really want to prove something. Maybe there's still a chance for them, even if it's a 1% or 0.1% chance. They'll still want to take it, but it's a big game. In the first leg, in the reverse fixture, it was Kotoko that were able to get the better of their northern rivals, but RTU also stands a chance here. Yeah, he looks very, very happy, quite excited coming back, and that's how you sometimes want it to be. The peace, harmony, and brotherly love between these players, and it's sometimes not okay when the media would want to destabilize the team and go fast out of these little issues. And I believe for the goalkeeper himself, he knows what it means to play for a team like Asante Kotoko. He loves the team. There's a player who has been with the team for quite a long time, so he understands what goes into donning the Kotoko jersey, and I believe that's why he's back today. Yes, maybe he wasn't sound, and I just called that act a selfless act because he didn't think about himself. He could have just gone in there to man the post, but he felt he wasn't ready. Why should he go in there and let everyone down, including the supporters, the millions of Kotoko fans out there? That was the best thing to have done. Today, he believes he's in the right frame of mind to man the post. It's going to be a very, very cagey game, and I believe that is what we should be expecting.
The special thanks needs to go to the medical team and the technical team of Asante Kotoko.
Yeah.
It doesn't normally happen in this country, especially in our local league. In the space of 1 week, they are able to work on the minds of some of these players to come back into the post in the space of 1 week to be the goalkeeper for Asante Kotoko. That is very good on the side of Asante Kotoko. Prosper Netiogum naturally is a psychologist. Their team manager, Ohini Brenya, naturally is very good in that aspect. They have a very good medical team working on that lad by him. So in the space of just 1 week to work on the goalkeeper, not just to make on the bench, but to start the game for Asante Kotoko. Special thanks to the Asante Kotoko team on working on that lad Ibrahim.
Bro, let's see how that one goes. The only time in this country that you can say that you are not mentally and psychologically ready for something is when examination is coming. Whether you are prepared or not, you would have to write. But Dan Lad, made his feelings known to the technical team that he wasn't ready for the Great Olympics game. But I'm sure they've worked tirelessly on him, and today he's starting the game for them in the absence of Frederick Asari, who is with the Black Stars of Ghana. They will be playing the Central African Republic on Monday. You're still watching Star Times at the Patch 247, and we are building up to that game at the National Stadium where Real Tamale United will be taking on Kumasi Asante Kotoko. We take a quick break here. We will be right back.
Start time say, a new concert sika wutia TV no. Ni boy den eche wudanka.
Oh, prepaid NASA.
A new concert sika wutia TV no. Ni boy den eche electricity bills.
Done well to keep that in.
Dad, school fees.
A new concert sika wutia TV no. Ni boy kwa den eche school fees. Start times die. Yet ya pa. Ye never pay TV ya. Ye bone ja form emo bia timi hwere ni so ade.
So untumi your rent now better na me fee. Oh.
Start time say, a new concert sika wutia TV no. Ni boy den eche wudanka.
Oh.
No day.
Since the days of Baba Yara, we've been there. Ghana Premier League is back again. Since the days of Shamokwe, we've been there. Relegation One League is back again. Since the days of Abeta Saki, we've been there. Women's Premier League is back again. Since the days of Asamoah John, we've been there. We've been there. Ghana Premier League is back again. Since the days of Ishmaelado, we've been there. We've been there. Division One League is back again. So this is our own. Let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. This is our own. Let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. This is our own. Let's cherish our own. Women's Premier League is back again. Since the days of Emmanuel Clotte, we've been there. We've been there. Division One League.
33 out of the Ghana Premier League and will be at the Sheriga Stadium where Kumasi Asante Kotoko have all the region to face off with the real Tamale United, and this promises to be an interesting game because it is a make or break for RTU. Any result apart from a victory would spell doom for RTU. They could go down to Division 1, meaning that the people of the northern region might miss out on Premier League football next season. Well, Karela are also in the relegation dogfight, so it could be a very, very dicey situation for them. Let's see how that one goes. For Kumasi Asante Kotoko, relegation is not likely, but mathematically they are not completely out of the woods, and they would want to finish this season on a very high note. There, they are currently 10th on the Ghana Premier League table and will look to move further up with a win today against R2, especially having lost their last game against Great Olympics at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex in March day 32. So let's see how that one goes. My name is with Josiah Okokwe and of course Nana Edu. Now, gentlemen, let's talk about how RTU could approach this game. I mean, it is a make or break for them. They've scored 30 goals this season, but they've conceded 50 goals, the highest in the division. How do they approach this game today? It is like a make or break for them.
It's the game that would, foretell if they can still remain in the Premier League, depending on what happens to the likes of Kerala United and also Accra Great Olympics in their subsequent games. But I think the biggest blow for them will be the fact that they are not playing with their favorite striker, their top scorer this season, Mankuyeli, who has scored 8 goals for them. Also, Friye, who is also on 7 goals, isn't playing for them this afternoon, which tells you that they are missing this duo who between them have scored 15 Premier League goals this season, and that's the kind of the caliber of players they are missing this afternoon. If you want to stand any chance at all of getting 3 points in a game like this, Mutala, you need people who can bang in the goals. Mankuyeli has been very, very clinical for them this season. 8 goals for a team like RTU isn't a mere feat. The last player to have scored such numbers for them, I believe, was
11 goals so far for RTU. 11
competitions, and that's quite good for them, and that's what RTU will be missing today. Yes, they have the likes of Mustafa Fusaini, Audu Mohammed, Musa Al Hassan is also there, Abu Mohammed is there, Abdul Karim Bukhari will be playing in the back four, but I just believe that the biggest players that will be missing will be Mankuyeli and also Usi.
Well, we'll get to see how both teams will line up in today's game, so we have to cross over to the National Gas Stadium and have a listen to the 2 managers ahead of the game.
Coach, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of your time.
Thank you.
It has been an arduous journey for Real Tamale United, and most of your fans are not too happy because it doesn't look good. This may be the last we see of Real Tamale United for this season, but it's not over until it's over. Game against Asante Kotoko here this afternoon. How do you intend to approach the game?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I think going forward, as you said earlier on, I think this year has not been very good for RTU, but I think it's part of the game that sometimes when you are into the game, it's either you win or you lose or you draw. And if you don't get much number of matches to win, then it affects you by sending you to relegation. So I think going forward, we are preparing well for this match. As you said, Kumasi Asante Kotoko is a big club, just like RTU, and we are coming to face them to actually play the league in a good way. Yeah, we are coming to play to win, actually. Yeah, because the league is still on, and as you said, we have found ourselves under the league table. Who knows? Tomorrow a verdict could come out, and that could bring RTU to the middle. Yes, since protest cases might occur. In football, it happens.
Is there a protest case?
Not for now.
Real Tamale United?
I can't talk about any protest case, but it could go from one club to the other, and that could pull RTU into the middle. Yeah.
Have any lessons been learned from the experiences you've gone through this season?
Yeah, I think going forward, Real Tamale United is a big club, and we didn't start the league season in a very good way. But I think getting to the tail end of the league, we had a very good support, and it was late, even though there was a lot of interventions that was made to still keep us. I think it didn't still go well with us, but I think with what the management is doing currently, if they are to keep it going forward, RTU will bounce back next season to Premiership strongly.
Which means that this is probably going to be the last time we see some of your crack players, and you do have a few crack players in the team.
Exactly.
Baba Kushibo has almost always played above himself. Saibu, the captain, has also done that. And today I noticed that Baba Kushibo is not playing, and your leading goal scorer, Mohamed Mankuyeli. What is happening?
Yeah, Mankuyeli is under the injury list. I think our last match against Brekum Chelsea, he suffered. He couldn't even finish the game, and up to now he has not even appeared in training. So there's no way you should say because of Kotoko then you should bring your best scorer to come and play. I think the game is ongoing, and a lot of players are there to do the work. So I think going forward, that's the reason.
It's tough, but all I can say is that we wish you good luck in this afternoon's encounter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coach, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of your time. It's been a long journey from Kumasi to Nalerigo, and this is about the second time this season that you are visiting this terrain. The first time you did that, it wasn't a fair result for Kotoko. But going into this game, what should we expect?
Yeah, thank you. I'm only praying that they have the energy to play today, because we set off from Kumasi 6 a.m. yesterday and got here about 15 minutes to 6. So more or less like 12 hours journey. So everybody's tired. I'm just hoping that they will have the energy to play. But then, back to your question, I think we've had series of meetings. We've spoken to them. That we've traveled that long, and we need to make sure that we get the results, especially coming from the backdrop of the game we lost against Olympics. We need to make sure that we go back to our winning ways. So mentally they are ready, physically they are ready, tactically too they are ready.
And I think the good news emanating from the club is that you have the return of Kote, who has been a regular in the team, and then we also see smiles on the face of Dan Lad Ibrahim. How has the process been? We spoke?
Yeah, I think was yellow card that they need to make sure that they live up to the bill. Stephen is not around. This morning after engaged, and I made him understand that it's an opportunity for him to also prove that he's capable. So all these players involved have been engaging one way or the other. So they are mentally okay to be able to play.
I'm sure in a nutshell you will agree with me. The best of seasons for the Porcupine Warriors, but obviously the season would end and a lot will go into rebuilding the team. Can you share with us a few of the ideas, where you think there are shortfalls, where we can sharpen, and what the expectations should be for many Kotoko fans when the season bounces back?
I think all the departments, we need to augment all the departments. Defense, midfield, attack, we need to augment all these departments to make sure that we become better than this season. So we'll look at it at the end of the season and see what can be done to make sure that the team becomes stronger and better than this season.
We wish you the very best.
Ogume is the coach of Asante Kotoko. Quickly, let's go through the lineup of the two teams before we cross over for the first 45 minutes. For RTU, Lukman Sharif is starting in post for them. Abdul Fattah Saibu, Ahmed Isa, Mohammed Idris Jr., Hussein Bilal, Mohammed Abu, Mustafa Hussein, Mohammed Suaudu, Abdul Karim Bukari, Awudu Mohammed, and of course Musa Al Hassan. And for Asante Kotoko, Danlad Ibrahim is in post for them. He is also the captain of the Serge Eric Zeze, Enoch Morrison, Kalu Atara, Yusuf Mohammed Nuruddin, Baba Yaya, Andrews Intim Menu, Nicholas Osebonsu, Aqua Peter Amidu, and of course Emmanuel Kote also back in there. So the stage is set for a big game. Nanetu, how do you think the first half would go?
I think it's a strong lineup from both sides, even though they are missing Mankuyele, who is a key player for RTU. Kotoko is also missing, Steve Mukwala, who is their top scorer in the club, but Kalu Atara, it's a big opportunity for him to also step up. The same as Danlad Ibrahim, of course, Emmanuel Kote coming back into the team. Kotoko may lead at the end of the first 45 minutes.
Josiah, what do you think? How do you think the first half would go? Looking at the lineup of the two sides, I see Kotoko parading a very, very strong lineup.
Yeah, it's a strong lineup.
Yeah.
It's just that they are missing their first choice striker. Is a Stephen Mukwala, who is with the Ugandan national team on international duty.
But it's an opportunity for Kalu Atara.
Yeah, he has really struggled in front of goal this season. When you see Stephen Mukwala banging the goals, he's on 40 now, I think, and you compare that to Kalu Atara's numbers, who also started brightly. It doesn't really look good for him. But Kotoko shouldn't think this RTU side would be a mere pushover. This RTU side wouldn't want to go down without putting up a fight. I expect it to be very, very cagey and competitive in the first half. And Mutala wouldn't be surprised if RTU should even take the lead, in the first half. Yeah, it could be very, very tight, but I believe that I'll go what it takes, to cause an upset in this.
Bench, they have the line of Mohamed Going with the 4-2-1-3 formation there. Ibrahim Danladi in post, and the back four is Emmanuel Kote, Justice Blay, Mohamed Nuruddin, and of course Bonsu. Enoch Morrison and Intim Menu together with Serge Eric Zeze in the middle, and the front three there is Baba Yaya, Kalu Watara, and of course Peter Aqua Abidu also there. So it's a very, very attacking lineup for Asante Kotoko. They are going all out for the 3 points here. Oh, the substitute Ben, the likes of Sharif Mohammed in there, and it's going to be a very, very interesting game. The likes of Shadrach Adwa are on the bench. Moise Poite is also on the bench for Asante Kotoko. For RTU, they are going with the typical 4-3-3 formation. Sharif in post, and the back four is made up of Suidu, Bukari, Sayubu, and of course Isa. Then in the middle is Abu Bilal and Idris with Al-Hassan Mohammed, and of course Fuseni up front for them. So it's also a very attacking lineup. I'm sure we are going to see a lot of goals in this game, but I'm surprised to see the likes of Baba Kushebo actually on the bench for RTU.
Yeah, they need players like that. George Renchi is also over there. Ifeanyi Nanayao is there. Idrisu Gaddafi. They have some good players on the bench, but it's the starting 11 I'm more concerned about, and how they can, hit Kotoko. And I believe we should see lots of runs, from Al Hassan Mohammed and also Hussein, who will be playing on either flanks, with Mohammed striking, through the middle. If they really want to get anything from this game, they need to take the game to Kotoko, and I want to see more runs as well, some overlapping runs from the fullbacks. Kotoko would definitely seize over possession. They would enjoy more of the ball, but it's about how RTU would shape up without the ball, and how fast they can transition the ball when they are in possession of it, because we know Kotoko, we know how Prosper Ugum side want to dominate. They want to be dominant, especially in the other half, not in their own half. They want to take the game to you. They want to make you work harder. So out to you, if they really want to get something from this, it's how disciplined they will be off the ball, and how good they will be on the ball.
Now then, the Kotoko's play might be a bit altered with Stevie Desimukwala not around. He is not the same type of player like Kalu Watara is. We might see a lot of crosses going into the box for Kalu Watara.
Mukwala is very good in terms of movement play, with the ball, and Kalu Watara's strength is the area ability. So I agree with you. Change in approach towards the game may change. We have different people in that particular position, but it's the same system. Baba Yaya operating from the left, and of course Amin Waka operating from the right, with Eric Serge playing behind them. And of course, the two midfielders in Andrews and Timenu and Enoch Morrison. So it's the same approach. Okay. Let's see what will happen in the first.
So it's that time that we cross over to the National Gas Sports Stadium for the first half of this game. It's RTU against Kotoko. Enjoy.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. It's the penultimate stage of the Ghana Premier League, and we're coming to you from the Sheriga Sports Center in Nalerigo. It's the home ground of Karela, but this afternoon is Real Tamale United who will be playing as hosts to Asante Kotoko. It's a match day 33 fixture, and a keen one at that, looking at the positions on the league table in terms of both sides. Real Tamale United lying at the bottom of the Ghana Premier League table with 31 points, and Asante Kotoko, who've not had a very good season, have 43 points. The weather is calm, atmosphere is rife for association football with humidity about 43%. Thank you for joining us. My name is Prince Anan, and for 90 minutes we will run you through what is expected to be nothing but very good football here at the Sheriga Sports Center. Officials ably led by the match commissioner coming out of the dressing rooms, leading the two teams that will be doing battle here today is the all blue outfit of Real Tamale United, the host side,